guys, and welcome back to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we're continuing the NFL predictions of 2021, and we have the Las Vegas Raiders in their new stadium. And let's take a look at the roster here. And we got Derek Carr. They tried to offload him multiple times, trying to go after a Deshaun Watson, trying to go after a Russell Wilson, trying to go after an Aaron Rodgers, trying to go after everybody under the sun. It seemed like they wanted Derek Carr gone. I actually kind of like Derek Carr, but I don't think he's going to be enough to fix this roster. Let's be honest. But I do love Josh Jacobs. I think Josh Jacobs has a potential to be a top 5 running back talent in the league. I think he's awesome. Kenyon Drake's a nice pickup as a backup guy. He can be a third down back. I think he's better than Jalen Richards. So I like that scoop. Kind of unnecessary, I thought. But, hey, I think he's a talented running back. He struggled last year in Arizona, but I think he'll be okay this year. I am not a big fan of this wide receiver core. This might be one of the worst, if not the worst, wide receiver cores in the league, if we're being honest. Henry Ruggs, I think, was a bad pick from the get-go. He basically just goes fast. I think they wanted him to kind of be a Tyreek Hill. We'll see. Bryan Edwards, average. John Brown getting up there in age a little bit from Buffalo. He's actually a little bit of a smaller guy, better fit in the slot probably, but he can play outside as well. But John Brown, he's okay. I'm just not a big fan of this wide receiver group. Darren Waller, though, is an absolute stud at the tight end position. This guy, receiver turned tight end, is a physical freak. He's like 6'6", like 6'5", 6'6", running a 4.4 40-yard dash. Hands were amazing last year, and he should be another good year and another great year, honestly, tight end. Probably the third best tight end in the entire league. The offensive line, I actually liked the pick of Alex Leatherwood from Alabama. A lot of people were giving them grief for picking him at number 17, I believe they had, and they should have gone a different direction. I actually liked the pick. I think that Alex Leatherwood was one of the few prototypical type left tackles in this game. They're actually putting him at right tackle for now. But he has the actual arm length, nearly 34-inch arms, 6'5", 320 pounds. He was actually one of the few guys, especially towards the top of the board, that actually fit that prototypical role. Like Rashawn Slater, awesome guy, or awesome player, but he was only 6'3". Same things with Elijah Vera Tucker, both of them left tackles. You think of like Liam Eichenberg was a good height, but not quite the arm length. There's a couple other guys like that. Penei Sewell was the only one that was more prototypical than Alex Leatherwood, to be honest. So I liked the pick, but the rest of the offensive line is bleh at best. They let a lot of linemen go this offseason, so not big on their offensive line. Their defense is, they've got some interesting pieces. Clelin Ferrell, their number 4 overall pick a couple of years ago, obviously they reached on him, but he's still talented. They have Max Crosby behind him. They got Yannick Ngakoue. So they got a couple of decent pass rushers. Not great, but decent. The interior of their defensive line is meh. Their linebackers are terrible. I actually like Nicholas Moreau as like a kind of a discount linebacker. So if you had him as your third best linebacker, I think that'd be okay. But he's honestly probably their best linebacker, and I don't think that's nearly good enough. Casey Hayward Jr. over there from the Chargers is a decent pickup, aging, but decent. Jonathan Abram is really, really good. And honestly, though, they picked my favorite player in this year's draft, and that's Trayvon Merrick. And this dude is a stud. If you have not heard of this dude, I promise you, this guy is going to be phenomenal. Unfortunately, he's not playing behind a good defense, but this guy can play man-to-man. This guy can play zone. This guy's aggressive. He gets after it. He gets after the ball. I really like this dude. He's a true free safety, though. He's not really a strong safety. He's probably will struggle in the run game, but he can tackle. He's a sure tackler. He's just not kind of like that big hitter, if that makes sense. But I do love this kid, Trayvon Merrick. We'll see what the Raiders end up doing, but on top of already being a kind of a suspect roster, in my opinion, they have one of the toughest schedules coming up this year, and we're about to go through it right now. And it starts off against Baltimore week 1, and we know Baltimore usually comes out firing, absolutely destroys teams week 1, and I don't think this is going to be much different. Ravens should roll over the Raiders. Then they got Pittsburgh week 2, all the way across the country at Pittsburgh. I think they're going to lose that one. The Dolphins were an 10-6 team last year, and I think they've added a few pieces. We'll see if Tua can step up, but again, I think the Raiders are going to lose that one. The Chargers, I'm going to have them split with the Chargers, but I think they're going to go 0-4 before they split with the Chargers. You know what? Actually, I changed. I think I'm going to give them the win here because I think they're going to split, but I don't think they're going to win the last game of the season. So I'm going to give the win to the Raiders on week 4, so they'll move to 1-3. I think they could beat the Bears because at this point they still should have Andy Dalton, but it dramatically diminishes their chances to win if Justin Fields is in this game. Denver, I'm going to have them split with Denver as well. So I'm going to have them give them the early one because they usually play better earlier in the year than later in the year. So we'll give them 3 wins in a row here to get back to 3-3. But it's going to... And then also I think they can... I don't know. I think I have them beating the Eagles too. So they might get 4, lose 3, win 4, and then I have them losing out. That's the kind of schedule they have. The Giants, who've added a ton of pieces. We'll see if Daniel Jones can step up, but they're a good, complete team. Kansas City, we know them. They have to play them twice. Cincinnati is a really good team with Joe Burrow, at least offensively. Defensively, they have a couple of holes, but offensively, they should be ready to roll. Dallas, with Dak Prescott back, they should be a lot better. Washington, a complete team other than the quarterback position. And if Ryan Fitzpatrick can play decent, look out for Washington. Kansas City Chiefs, of course, we talked about. Cleveland Browns, one of the better teams in the league, probably top 3 when we're talking about a complete roster. Denver, obviously, in division, I already have them splitting, so I'm not going to have them sweep Denver. I think the Colts are a phenomenal team this year. They got Carson Wentz. The GM has that team humming. There's so many good pieces over there. Of course, Jonathan Taylor, Darius Leonard on the other side. Really, really good team. And then, of course, I said they're going to split with the Chargers. So 4-13 is what I'm giving the Raiders, and I think they've kind of taken a step backwards, to be honest, from last season. The last season they beat the Chiefs, right? Like they were looking like they had a chance. I think they were 6-2. They ended up finishing 8-8, and honestly, it could have been 7-9 if the Jets weren't trying to lose with that debacle at the end of the game. Greg Williams sending the all-out blitz, but yeah, it's going to be a tough season for the Raiders, and I don't see that changing much. There's going to be a dramatic change if they're going to do anything more than 5 games, probably 6 games. It's going to be crazy if they can do that, to be honest. I would be impressed because that means they have beaten a couple of teams that they shouldn't have. But anyway, that's my take. You guys let me know what you guys think about in the comments below. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Also in the description below, there's a Discord link. Hop in our Discord to come talk some football. And last but not least, there are donation links in the description below. If you feel so kind, you can donate to the channel. And until next time, see ya!